Hey guys, so it is, let's see, today's Thursday. I think I did that video Monday, right? Somewhere around there. Anyways, it's Thursday. The snow and such is gone. I'm actually sick. Every time I'm in a situation where it's either really cold outside or if there's like snow and ice, then I always get like stuffy and I cough. I haven't really been that bad. Um, So please don't assume it's COVID. Believe me, this is something that's been happening with me before I even started on YouTube. So things are still kind of hectic around here. Um, I wasn't really affected as bad as a lot of people thought that I would be affected, or as bad as I would be affected. I mean, I was affected a little bit. We lost power a couple times, and I wasn't really worried about it because I collect candles when I'm dumpster diving, and I got solar panels in certain parts of the house, enough to run like a couple of lights that comes with the solar panels, and then a couple to charge up electronics or whatever. And even when it's cloudy, it's still charging up my stuff, just not as fast as it should be. Um, so we weren't really affected as bad as I even imagined. I thought it was gonna be worse, and law enforcement was gonna start bringing us to a shelter, which they ended up making a shelter at the Civic Center downtown. And is that the Civic Center? I can't remember. Anyways, they made a shelter downtown. What I'm assuming is supposed to be the Civic Center. I can't remember. I'm too tired. And they ended up. They said that if you lost power or water or whatever, which they shut down, they shut off everybody's water because there was barely any electricity. Every hush, there's barely any electricity being going to the treatment plants for water, that they ended up just shutting the whole water system down because the supply of water was extremely dangerously low. So I think it was the assistant manager or assistant mayor, whoever this guy is. Actually, I got it right here. Let's see, the city manager. Let's see, he's the city manager. I'm trying to see where from a couple of days ago. I could see where the hell the damn thing is. Anyways, he was the city manager, and he ended up having the water supply shut off. So we had no water. So I ended up having to take ice and snow from outside and melt it down over the stove. We still have gas, luckily, and our electricity's been back on since sometime last night. So we're actually very good with that. Um, anyways, we still have gas. We have electricity again. Water's still shut off, but they're trying to restore it as of about an hour or two ago. And outside of that, nothing bad has really happened. All the chickens are still alive. The dogs are comfortable. Obviously, Avery and Duke are still in their crate. And Xena and Peggy are right behind me on the bed. And our one remaining rabbit is inside of a crate too. And so outside of that, I mean, we're fine. We really are fine. I just think it's funny because when you spend, and I'm not trying to boast myself, be a boaster or whatever, but when you spend so much time out on the road, especially if you're out west, you really start to learn stuff, especially outdoor related stuff, obviously, because you live outside. And you know, being in Colorado and New Mexico and other western states, it's really melting ice and snow that was just recently formed was never a problem for me. I've never gotten sick, and I still haven't gotten sick because I have drank some of the water from snow we melted the other night and didn't get sick. I'm completely fine. Other than me coughing, but that's, like I said, that's from it actually being cold. It does this to me every year, even before this COVID bullshit. So let's see, what do we got? Hold on one second. So apparently, as I'm looking at KTRA TV right here on Facebook, the last 3 or 4 days, because of how cold it's been, there's been, I think, if I read correctly, it looks like there was a dozen house fires because people were trying to build fires in their houses, and that's just not a good thing, obviously. Because A, obviously you're gonna have a house fire, and B, even if you didn't have that house fire, you're gonna have carbon monoxide poisoning, which will obviously kill you. So usually, what I would do in a situation like that, well, let me think. If I was ever in a situation, and this is me really wishing I was in a house like this right now. If I was in a situation before I ever was in a situation like that, I would at least, especially if I'm in the county area, like over in Central and Pollock and all that, I would at least try to make sure I have a building, a house, camper, whatever, that has a makeshift or an area where I could put a potbelly stove, because I mean that alone would just not only heat your home up, but it also counts as cooking as well. See, Crazy Cooter just tagged me in something. Let's see what this is. Oh, already seen that. Anyways, so there's problems with that around Lufkin and other neighboring towns. East Texas alone just isn't really ready for something like this. And I understand, because we don't get this kind of weather, but I really believe, and I said this in the video the other day, and apparently a lot of people didn't like it because I got a shit ton of dislikes on it compared to what I normally get. But again, if people would at least invest in technology that actually is worthwhile, that actually helps you, not in technology that entertains you. I mean, that's two different things right there. You got one that helps you, and you got one that entertains you. Entertainment is like, Xboxes, PlayStations, the newest flat screen TVs, virtual reality headsets, stuff like that. That's stuff you really don't need. Excuse me. And if we're talking stuff that helps you, okay, potbelly stove, for example, there's something right there. Gas heaters, gas stoves. If your house is run by gas, I would invest in that. Um, just trying to think. Solar panels. Solar panels. I mean, why not? There's nothing illegal about having solar panels here in the city of Lufkin. I think as long as you are still hooked up to the main city grid, you can actually have solar panels. And mine really are only they're mainly for emergency use, but eventually I'm going to have it where if hopefully in here in a couple weeks soon, I'll have those two solar generators that'll be running lights throughout the whole house, so I wouldn't even have to turn this light on right here. I could just have it right here and in my shower room, in the kitchen, and blah blah blah, So there's really no excuse on why people can't invest in it. I just think, in my opinion, people's priorities are wrong, and if I'm wrong, let me know. But I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. Because the only thing, I wasn't worried about this. I really, really wasn't. The only thing I was worried about, was seeing how people were going to react to having or just in general being in a snowstorm. And this isn't our first one. Even when I was a kid, we had 3 or 4 snowstorms here. It snowed. So I don't understand why this is any different now than what it was back then. Maybe I'm just not remembering correctly. Maybe there wasn't that much snow back then, but we just had that snowstorm. What was it, last January or late December, somewhere around there? Maybe a month and a half ago, we just had a snowstorm about the same size as this. There should have been no excuse for people not being prepared, especially since technically we are still in winter. So this should have never have become a surprise for the people of East Texas, Lufkin, East Texas, whatever, or just Texas in general. So I do get nervous when I'm around other people in a situation like this. Even when I lived in Houston and we had Katrina and Rita and Ike, excuse me. Damn, I hate being stuffed up. Anyways, even when we had all that, I remember, and even when Harvey hit too. I don't know about Laura, but I remember the last 4 hurricanes I've been through. That's all you ever saw on the news was people shooting at each other, looting stores, which is fine if you're looting. Here's my thing: I don't condone this. As the son of a business owner and somebody who understands this, I don't condone looting and stealing from stores, especially if the situation doesn't call for it. But if the situation does call for it, for example, if a Dollar General, for example, was run down and a hurricane just came through and it's SHTF, streets are blocked off, anarchies ensue, you got kids, you need to feed them. Okay, I can understand if you're gonna go to Dollar General and you're gonna take as much food as you can. I completely understand that. But to go to a store and loot the store and get stuff you don't even need, like I remember when I was a kid, I actually remember during Katrina and Rita seeing people literally run off out of the stores with new TVs at that time, Nike shoes or sneakers or whatever the hell, these really expensive clothing that they didn't need. I don't remember, and I've seen. I mean, the shit's on YouTube still. I don't remember seeing any of them of these people in these videos run out with food. And the only negative that really came from it, other than the fact that they were stealing stuff that wasn't needed, was the fact that for some reason the media always portrayed it as black people doing it, which is just stupid as hell. I mean, yeah, there was black people doing it, but what they didn't show you, and I seen this myself even now as an adult, there was also white people doing it too. Because when Harvey hit and when me and Zena went down to Corpus to go help out, they didn't have a lot of looting and stuff in Corpus because I guess you could say the relief people, whoever the hell it was that was running at the time, had a good uh, grip on things. So when we got there down there, we were just able to get supplies put out and get across the city. But there was still some looting going on, and there was white people doing it too, along with blacks, Mexicans, God knows who else. So, but my point is that when you're in a situation like that and you are the prepared one in the area and nobody else is, not only do you become a target, but it's scary knowing what people would do just to imagine if I don't have my phone on me. Imagine if we were in an EMP situation. Something happens, whether the scenario is whether North Korea or China or whoever the hell drops a bomb or whatever the hell it is, an EMP missile, whatever the fuck they call it now, uh, over let's say over Texas, and everybody, since we live in this day and age, everybody's obviously always carrying an Android or an Apple phone or whatever. Okay, let's take this, my Roku remote, and let's say this is the phone. Okay, well, the problem is, once a situation like that happens, people are going to realize, well, shit, he has solar panels, and I need my device on, even though there's going to be no signal, because again, everything got fucking fried within a certain amount of radius. Well, let's just go over and bargain with him to get our phone hooked up. Well, if he doesn't want to bargain with us, there's been situations where people have been killed for the stuff they have, whether they're homeless or living in a house, whether it's a hurricane or a storm like this. There's been people. Hey, go lay down. Go lay down. I don't want you eating that. Anyways, there's been situations where that shit happens. So yeah, I was a little nervous because I didn't know how people would react here in Lufkin alone with all the snow and ice that was forming. And so, anyways, yeah, that's what's going on. And then, you know, this whole thing with the power grid is very. I mean, I don't completely understand the whole thing. I really don't. I'm not gonna lie to you and try to come up with some bullshit information I don't know anything about. What I can tell you is this is another reason why I believe everybody needs to go to solar. I mean, let's be honest. It doesn't even have to be here in Texas. It could be over in Colorado, New Mexico, wherever the hell. Snowfall comes in pretty good, it's gonna knock out the fucking power. So, with that being said, that's why I believe everybody should, get solar panels, get candles, get the alternatives. I mean, think of it this way: it's almost 2030. I mean, 9 years. We got 8 or 9 years left to go until it's 2030 or 2029. So 7 or 8 years left to go. 8 or 9, whatever the fuck. So in 2029, 100 years ago from that point would be the start of the Great Depression here in the United States. So if that's the case, think of what the hell they had to go through when the power was out, if they even had power. Not all of them had power. Not all of them had gas. And not all of them obviously had any of the shit that me or you have. So my point is you need to look at other alternatives rather than just getting one thing and saying this will work when all of a sudden later on it's gonna fucking stop. Hey, what did I say? Stop chewing into that. I love you. So yeah, that's why I don't worry about the stuff. That's why I don't that's why I'm always busy or trying to be busy when it comes to doing stuff, because I know for a fact if I stay busy and I keep to my goals, which is sustaining a very good homestead and trying to gain ownership of the land and trying to make it as sustainable as possible. And if being sustainable as possible is being on solar and candles and stuff like that, then so be it. I'm still gonna be paying for everything, bill wise. I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. I mean, I'm like 2 months ahead on rent. So I got extra money that either I could save up or I could put into the homestead to make it better. I'm not going to go over and get, okay, well, here's item A and it's supposed to do this, this, and this. Well, I only need item A. I don't need to get all these other items. When in reality, you're going to need all those other items because item A is now completely fucked. You know what I mean? So, anyways, Uh, I might do another video tonight before I go to bed because I got to go to work tomorrow, and hopefully we'll open. I think we will because we just got our schedule the other day, Tuesday or whatever the fuck. So I think we will be open. I hope we are. I really hope we are. So, anyways, I'll see y'all later. Peace.